Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in for another executive interview. Today I'm joined by Nicholas Mumford, Managing Director of Greenhill Energy, who's developing Australia's first commercial scale integrated waste to hydrogen facility, setting new benchmarks in sustainable energy production. Nicholas, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me here, Rhythm.
Absolutely. Now, Nicholas, Greenhill Energy aims to develop Australia's first commercial scale integrated waste to hydrogen and green manufacturing facility. So, can you tell us how does this position the company in the emerging hydrogen market and what competitive advantage do you foresee for your company?
Yeah, absolutely, Rhythm. So the way this positions Greenhill Energy is we take low cost inputs to produce low cost hydrogen through an existing process called gasification. That's essentially the waste to hydrogen process, and then we integrate it on the same site with green manufacturing. So we're reducing our carbon footprint by utilizing CO2 in the manufacturing process, along with the hydrogen, low-cost hydrogen produced, and we have green manufacturing on site. So it's an integrated end-to-end process. As you pointed out with your opening comments, it's Australia's first commercial scale of this nature. So we are really leading the Australian sector or Australian market in this context. But there are other examples of this type of integrated facility, in the Northern Hemisphere across Europe and North America.
That's truly fascinating, particularly about the market positioning. Now, speaking of growth, Nicholas, your projections indicate significant revenue growth from $25 million in 2025 to $220 million by 2029. So, can you walk us through the key drivers behind this ambitious growth trajectory?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, there's a few things that need to fall out for us to hit those revenue targets in 2025. It may push out to 26, but essentially we're starting with conventional power gen or power generation, and we're then integrating the waste to hydrogen process, and we're stepping out the integrated project through to the urea manufacturing and further growth in stage 3. And so this revenue projection really articulates our staged approach to de-risking project implementation and building that revenue and building the markets that we're supplying through that process. So the 25 mil builds to a little bit over 40 mil by the conclusion of stage 1 with the integrated waste to hydrogen process, and then we build into the urea manufacturing where we really get the big uptick in terms of revenue over time.
I understand. Now, those growth projections are indeed very compelling, and I believe a lot of this centers around your flagship project. So, the Riverbend Energy Hub seems very central to your strategy. So, can you elaborate on how this project actually de-risks your business model and sets the stage for national and international expansion?
Absolutely. So we see replication through licensing and construction of Riverbend Energy Hub elsewhere, but Riverbend really needs to demonstrate the commercial scale viability locally in the Australian context. And so we've staged the construction of Riverbend into stages 1, 2, and 3. The first part of stage 1 is using very conventional technology, and then we build on that as we go through all the stages. And so really the innovation here is about the integration. The actual technology deployment is fairly conventional technology and proven globally. So we're doing something new and innovative in terms of the integration, but we're really keeping it simple in terms of deploying existing commercial scale technology more broadly. So we're really taking Riverbend as a blueprint to scale up nationally and internationally in terms of more projects and also licensing, because as we're developing the IP through our patenting process.
Absolutely, that's truly innovative. Now, one aspect that caught my attention about your model is the cost efficiency. So, with the goal of producing hydrogen at below $2 per kilogram, how does Greenhill Energy plan to achieve and maintain this cost effectiveness in the long term?
Yeah, that's a great question there, Rhythm. Look, I think when we're talking about waste, the input feedstock is very low cost, even negative cost in the sense that we'll be receiving gate fees for taking the waste through the facility. We're also looking to integrate sustainable biomass as feedstock, and that will vary from a waste product through to a cost for the feedstock. However, our modelling certainly demonstrates that even with a modest cost for the feedstock input, we're still at below the $2 per kilo hydrogen production cost. And over the long term, we're looking to sustain that with long-term agreements of supply alternatives for landfill coming to our facility instead of going to landfill, and also working with the local communities to build a sustainable ecosystem of biomass supply over time.
The economics are certainly very compelling. Now, what's equally interesting is how your approach takes multiple challenges simultaneously, including waste management and clean energy production. So, can you tell us how does this multifaceted approach enhance the investment opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. So our ESG footprint is very strong. We start with taking landfill waste, is rather than sending to landfill, we're taking that through the facility. It's obviously going through a pre-processing step to remove some of the materials that we can't take, such as metals and rubble and that sort of thing. But by diverting waste away from landfill, we're already avoiding significant greenhouse gas emissions caused by that landfill gas or landfill waste. And so we're putting it through our facility instead. So we're reducing the carbon footprint by diverting waste from landfill. Then when we're taking it through our processes, we actually utilize the CO2 in the process of manufacturing to produce green manufactured products, which are used in existing supply chains, such as urea. And that substitutes for fossil fuel derived urea, and therefore reduces the supply chain footprint in the urea sector. But also we produce hydrogen on site, which can be used in aspects of mobility, in pipeline supply, and for clean power generation. So again, diverting or substituting for fossil fuels in the supply chain for the same. So we have a very strong ESG footprint, reducing greenhouse gas emissions overall and strengthening the longevity of the investment profile for those investors that are looking for a green investment strategy.
Absolutely, and that really highlights the broader impact of what you're building. Now, Nicholas, as a parting question, looking at your longer term vision, how do you see Greenhill Energy's role in shaping the future of the circular and hydrogen economies globally?
Yeah, so we're looking to work long term with communities, both nationally and internationally, to provide that solution at a community scale, to provide circular solutions from waste into high value products, and also jobs and building that sustainability within the communities, which includes, for example, energy security for those communities. So we're working very closely with the community around Tailem Bend, which is the Riverbend Energy Hub site. But we're also working with other communities elsewhere as we're developing other project locations. So we see ourselves as very much trying to lead the charge in terms of building that circular economy equation, but we need to work with partners to develop that as well. So we're building strong relationships both nationally with our supply chain partners, such as Solar Resource Recovery and peat soil and garden suppliers and KSI sawmills locally for Riverbend Energy Hub, and international partners as well for looking at other opportunities elsewhere throughout the globe.
Wonderful. Now, to our viewers watching, you have heard it all from Nicholas. So, if you would like to get in touch with the team at Greenhill, please see the details at the side of your screen or in the description of this video. And Nicholas, thank you so much for joining me in this conversation and sharing your wonderful insights about the work that you and your team are doing. We wish you all the luck with your venture moving forward.
Thanks, Rhythm. Great to be here.
Thank you.